Hello, and thank you for being at my channel. My name is Chrissy Hodges, advocate for OCD, in particular Pure OCD, which also happens to be the name of my memoir. The Invisible Side of Obsessive Compulsive Disorder talks about my life with OCD up to treatment. I'm also a certified peer support specialist working around the world with people to help them as they are working toward recovery in whatever stage that is. I can also provide referrals for therapists anywhere in the world. And OCD is an app at treatmyocd.com. Inside the app, you can connect to people with OCD, find resources. They also do telehealth. So check them out if that is what you are looking for, or you're looking for a little more support. First of all, I just wanted to say, I realized on my last video, I was pretty fired up. And that's okay. Many of you may not know, I've been doing advocacy for many, many years, over a decade at this point. And I, especially in my early days, was known for being a very passionate advocate for the community, very outspoken, as you are probably aware here on my videos. That is what I do, and that's what's important to me, is representing the community. And so I appreciate all the feedback about the video. I know it was super passionate, and I know that it was a lot, but every once in a while I just feel like I gotta bust one of those videos out. Dig that inner advocate inside of me out and just advocate for the heart and the pulse of the community. So that's what I love doing, and that's why I love being here. Today I want to talk about something that isn't talked about often, but I think is so important, and so many of you struggle with this, and we don't have a lot of information about it on it, so you feel really alone. So this is hyper awareness about our bodies in relation to whatever our intrusive thoughts are. If I look like I'm sweating, it's not because of the topic. It's just really hot in here. I have like an air conditioner blowing on me, and I'm still hot. I run hot, y'all. I'm also very anxious because I'm going to Germany and like tomorrow. So my anxiety is at a level 10. Trip anxiety just gets to me. Anyway, I hear this so much from individuals who live with OCD, just the hyper awareness about where their body is in time and space. Now, I have done a video about this before, but it's always worth revisiting and always worth putting more content out there. So what am I talking about? Well, as we know with OCD in general, and but really with intrusive thought and mental rituals, what usually happens is we are super aware of everything that is going on at any time. I always talk about this in group and with clients, is that we have this baseline that we run at, right? And with OCD, and that where everything feels okay. And if anything gets off of that, that can become an obsession super quick. You know, if oh my goodness, why is my head hurting? Oh my goodness, why did I have that dream? Oh my goodness, why is my foot hurting? Why is my groin moving? Why did I look at this and think that? And the video I did recently with the OCD haze, that can happen in an instant. And then all of a sudden everything is thrown off, and what we're doing is trying to search back to get to that baseline. I've got to do all these compulsions to try to figure out what's going on or get back to the baseline and things like that. So hyper awareness is just part of having OCD. We're hyper aware all of the time of everything that's going on within ourselves, sometimes our environment, and sometimes with other people, especially if your OCD is targeting other people. But not only that, I will say, just as a side note, so many of us with OCD are hugely intuitive. We can tell when things are off. We can tell with other people when something changes. We can tell if there's something else going on and things aren't at baseline in relationships. We're just really good at that. So although we don't trust our intuition, so that's something that we have to constantly work on, and I constantly work on that. And anyway, so hyper awareness with your body, of course this can encompass any sort of like the health OCD. So all of a sudden you're aware of any sort of pain in your body, any sort of discomfort, and that discomfort will send you into the tailspin of, do I need to Google? Do I need to focus on this? Why is this happening now? Which can then go down the spiral of, are these symptoms of cancer? Are these symptoms of AIDS? Are these symptoms of, I'm trying to think what I had recently. It's always rabies. The rabies will always come back. because I stupidly read that rabies can hit within 2 years, and it's only been a year and 2 months. So I've got 10 months to go. Y'all are gonna have to hear about rabies for 10 more months. No, I had something. Let's see. I had leprosy, like that. I googled that. Do I have leprosy? Because I had some weird thing on my hand, which ended up just being a bug bite. Recently, I've had some hormonal issues. I'm in perimenopause probably. And so, of course, that has just gotten me all down I've got ovarian cancer and I've got everything else. So I'm hyper aware of any pain that's in my body. My PT, my physical therapist, I hated that she said this, but she did it anyway. She was like, people with anxiety just tend to be so hyper aware that whatever the pain is, it's going to be exacerbated by 1,000 times because they're so anxious about it. And I was like, grr. I was like, grr, you're right. And then I got irritated, but I was so glad she said that. Anyway, so we can focus on that with pain, but we can also focus on that with harm and sexual intrusive thoughts. So with harm intrusive thoughts, the urges. Okay, so then, and when I talk about urges, what that means is we're hyper aware of what our body is doing, or physical sensations when we are around someone or ourselves or anything where we think that we can cause harm. Best example ever. Have you ever had the intrusive thoughts about running someone over in the car? You see someone on the road up ahead, and the closer you're approaching those people, you really are feeling this urge of like, oh my gosh, my arm is going to turn the steering wheel and I'm going to hit this. So then you might change lanes or get as far away from that person as you can, and you just wait until you pass and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I think they're safe. And then hopefully you don't check, because then you might check and need to go back and then it all starts again. Harm is the same way. The urges, you'll be in the kitchen, you'll be near a knife or the knife block or something, and you'll feel it in your body. Oh my gosh. You may even feel butterflies, which anxiety-wise can create a sensation like butterflies. So then you might mistake that for, oh no, I want this. This is butterflies. This is something that's making me excited. And then you hone in on, did I just get excited about killing someone, or excited about harming someone, or excited about harming myself? This is easily the same thing with sexual intrusive thoughts. Okay, with sexual intrusive thoughts, we also micromanage our we do this with harm too. We do this with all OCD, whatever. But we micromanage our emotions and we start to rely on them. I need to feel this way in order to know that I'm not going to act on this. I need to feel this way in order to know that the intrusive thoughts aren't real. So if I am getting used to disgust, and disgust is that boundary that I think, oh, see, because I've got disgust, that means I'm not going to act on these intrusive thoughts. Well, eventually disgust, if you start relying on it, disgust is going to go away. In fact, it might morph into a different feeling, which could be like butterflies, which could make you feel like, I want this. Why does this feel like excitement? What does that mean? The hyperawareness physically with sexual intrusive thoughts. This is a big one, y'all, and this is not often talked about, but people will be so hyper aware of where their body is in time and space in any situation, but especially situations that might be around intrusive thoughts, right? So if you are at the store and you have POCD, pedophilia themed OCD, and all of a sudden, boom, here's this kid coming down the aisle, and you might think to yourself, oh my gosh, don't move. And then you think, and then you feel like your toe move or something, and you go, oh my gosh, why would my toe move toward the kid? What does that mean? Does that mean that I wanted to get toward the kid? Did I do something wrong? Did I act on it? You might even move your body towards the kid and think, oh my gosh, what did that mean? That must mean that I acted on this. You're hugging someone. This could go for any sexual interest. So let's go with like sexual intrusive thoughts about sexual orientation. Okay, so I identify as straight. If I have sexual orientation OCD, I would have intrusive thoughts of, oh my gosh, am I gay? So what if I see a friend or something and I hug, I'm micromanaging and hyper aware of every part of my body when I'm hugging that person. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I press my boobs up against them? Did I want to do that? Why did I hug them so hard? Where did my hands go? Where did my crotch go? Did I thrust toward them? And so then, of course, after the hug, you're sitting there going, what what did I do? Did I really do this? I can't remember if I did this. And then what does that mean? That has to mean something. And who would do this? Blah, 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 blah. So this can happen at any point in time. And, you know, when you're out in public, this is when it gets really tough, because then you're trying to manage, I don't want people to look at me funny. I don't want them to see that I'm anxious, or I don't want them to see me doing weird movements or getting out of the way or looking like I'm repulsed, when in all actuality, I'm trying to keep my body away from everything. I've mentioned this in another video. A big one is like thrusting. You know, you feel like, oh my God, did I get towards someone and thrust my hips? You could not even have thrust your hips, but you just think about thrusting your hips in the sex motion and you're like, oh no, I just did that, and what does that mean? And did I even thrust my hips? And that must mean I've acted on it, and then here we go down the spiral. Now, I know that I did not mention anything or everything about every single thought, but I just wanted to come on here really quick and do this video to make sure that you knew this is so common. And if you are thinking about this in relation to your theme, I want you to understand that it absolutely can latch on to whatever it is that you are trying to avoid. And as you are monitoring everything in time and space about your body, about your internal feelings, about your mouth and your groin and every other thing, you are going to be hyper aware of everything. And at some point you're going to think, oh my gosh, that did move, and what does that mean, and did I do it on purpose? And then you're going to go down that spiral. Or you might actually move your body towards something to test or check. Again, compulsion. Okay? This is a compulsion. You are going to think, I acted on it. And then afterwards, the shame spiral comes on of, oh my God, I could never take that back. When that kid walked down the aisle in the grocery store, I actually turned my body toward that kid to see how I react, and I didn't react, or I did react, and oh my gosh, what does that mean? Maybe that means I'm capable. You are testing, you are checking, but we, as I've always say in all my videos, acting is in the eye of the beholder. And with OCD, that phrase of acted on can get very convoluted, especially when it gets mixed up in your compulsions. So I just wanted to share that with you today. It was really important to do a video about this before I headed out of town. I may not be back doing YouTube video until next week. However, I'm going to try to download something in Germany. I'm also going to see Dr. Stephen Phillipson tomorrow in New York. I might try to do something with him just really quickly, just to say hello. I might do that as well. But keep me in your thoughts. Headed to Germany, and I'm trying to maintain my anxiety. I'm very hyper aware of everything right now. Oh, that's what I was going to say too, is that my hyper awareness has latched onto every possible illness I could get on the way to Germany. I mean, we are talking about like MS to COVID to yeast infection to everything else. Like I had a headache when I woke up this morning, and I was like, I have a brain tumor, and I'm going to be in Germany, and I'm not going to be able to get it taken care of. And I also had a horrible dream, which did not help either. So anyway, but I will see you. I probably will see you before that. I'll upload little short videos here and there. If I don't, then I will see you when I get back. Again, ChrissyHodges.com for peer support or referral consultations, and for NoCD, treatmyocd.com. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you when I'm back. Bye.